Yay! Okay. All right, everybody, welcome back to #Adulting. I'm Zach Peter.
And I'm Abigail Freire, and we're live from our living room.
We are live from our living rooms. We're not even together because we're social distancing because we don't want you to drag us on the internet for taping together. We are taping from the comfort of our couches via Zoom. I've never used Zoom before. I had to
Me
learn how to
either. Yes. Yeah, it was good though, I think. Zach,
It
it looks
was
like you
good.
washed your hair today. Was today the hair washing day?
Yesterday was my hair washing day.
Yesterday. Well, it looks fantastic.
Thank you. The roots are I didn't do my purple shampoo this week like I normally do, which is where I get that root fade. And right now that's a bit of a hard root. And I was like, oh, this is why I do it every week.
You know, I prefer Zach though with the root and a little bit of hair.
Yeah. No,
I They're so grown out. It's so bad.
I mean, I want to know what we're all going to look like when we come out of quarantine.
Right? I mean, I think it's going to be
because I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Same. I did one last night. I feel like it's going to be split. I think there's going to be half of us that come out like with our shit together, like mentally or physically. Like I'm putting myself in that group right now because that's what I'm trying to be in. But like, you know, we physically took care of ourselves and like we're ready to go. And then I think there's another half that's going to be like, oh my God, how do I adapt back to this life? Like I sat and like Netflix and chilled for 4 weeks and ate ice cream only and pizza, and which is fine. That was me totally the first full week of it. But I think it's going to be interesting.
It's a new normal that like we're having to adjust to, and like we're being like forced to adjust to it because like everybody did like the drink too much week 1, eat too much week 1, and now we're like, okay, now we need to figure out like what our life is going to look like because we don't know how long we're going to be locked up.
Right, and like what do we do, and like how do you work out in your living room?
That's the song. Locked up, wouldn't let me out. Locked up, they wouldn't let me out. What is that song? Isn't it like an Akon song?
Yeah, it's Akon. It 100%
called Locked Up, right?
Yeah.
There's my new TikTok song for the week. So I figured since we have we have our 4 categories on the show, we should probably break this episode up into those 4 categories. So like how to stay mentally sane, how to stay emotionally stable, how to stay physically fit, and then how to stay financially secure, which I feel like are 4 very challenging things to do right now. Because basically, I think what people are most afraid of is that like all the potential is in their own hands. So like if you don't go to the gym, like you're at home, like you have to make it work. You know, the power is in your hands right now. You can't blame anybody else. You can't say, oh, my boss was a bitch and I had to stay at work until 7, so I couldn't go to the gym. It's like, nope, you got all the power in your hands right now. So I figured we would use our own we would share our own tips and tricks for how we're surviving and hopefully give people some structure. So before we dive deep into each of the 4 categories, how are you doing with quarantine life? Like just overall?
I mean, I think I'm starting to feel it now. I think all last week, I really wasn't having an issue. There was a lot more work for me to do from home for my job, which let's get into that real quick before we break down. I mean, I guess we'll talk about the finances in that category, but is your workload, how is that going for you? My workload's been completely reduced.
Yeah.
But our jobs are very different.
Our jobs are very different. I think initially, like the first couple of days, everything shut down early March. So before we were in quarantine, all the events shut down. A lot of my gigs and a lot of my paychecks were pulled for me because, you know, I'm a host. I work in entertainment. So a lot of my jobs were getting canceled or postponed. And so luckily I was able to get one last job in like the Friday before quarantine shut down. But so for me, I was really scared at the beginning because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to make money. I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. Like I was freaking out. And then I kind of just went into, strategy mode of like trying to figure out all the different revenue streams that I've had over the past 4 years and how I can really leverage them in. And we can break that into, how I've been doing that and how people can do that at home. Cause I'm sure everybody's in that like scarcity mentality right now, which is why everyone's buying all the fucking toilet paper and all the batteries.
Watch yourself, Zach.
Right?
People are listening.
I know. So just in general, like on a scale of 1 to 10, like how would you rank like mental, emotional, physical, financial? Where are you in those 4 buckets?
I would say mentally a solid like 9,
Okay,
I
that's
would
good.
say. Physical, I would say a solid 5.5, 6. I'm
Yeah,
struggling
yeah, yeah.
there. Emotional, I would say a 5. I feel like
Okay.
that's kind of what I'm like dealing with this week is more like the emotional aspect of everything. And then I would say financial, again, I would say probably a 6-ish, 6, 7.
Okay.
Um, because of things obviously that are out of my control, and we'll get more into
Right.
that, during the finance section. But yeah, how about you?
Mental, I would say I'm probably about like an 8.5. I think that's where I'm the strongest at the moment is mentally.
Yeah,
And it's because I feel like the past 2 years have prepared me to really be okay with sitting in the uncertainty of everything and being like, all right, let's go, let's do it, let's roll with it, let's figure it out.
yeah,
So I feel like I'm very headstrong at the moment and just very much looking for solutions and ways to get over the hurdles that I was a little scared of in the first like couple of days of
sure.
quarantine. Emotionally, I think I'm okay, and maybe about like a 6 or a 7. I've been staying in contact with my family a lot. I've been going on some virtual dates. We'll get into all of that in a bit, but yeah. But I'm also kind of at the point where like, okay, I'm fucking tired of talking to people. Like, I don't need to FaceTime
Yeah,
8 people a day now.
right,
um,
right, right, right.
physically, I would say maybe I'm about like a 5 or a 6. I haven't been working out as much as I've wanted to, but like I've been going on walks around around downtown. I've been eating clean for the most part, minus all the alcohol that I've been drinking. So my body isn't wildly in havoc yet, but I feel like that's where I need some improvement. So I'm like a 5 or a 6 physically. And then financially, I think this is where I'm the most worried. I'm probably like a 4, but it's only just because of like old conditioning growing up as a
Right,
child and like that old like money is always fleeting, money's always going to go away, you're always going to have to strive and struggle to get money. So I'm trying
right.
to sit with breaking that chain and that cycle of having that scarcity mentality when it comes to money and just channeling how to find new strategies to bring in money instead of worrying about what I'm going to do. Because I think a lot of people are like worried and they're like, I need to file for unemployment. Like everybody's just like frazzled at the moment. And I think hopefully we can help them kind of sift through a lot of that anxiety.
I love that. Let's
Okay, so
do
let's
it.
start with
So, shall we
mental.
start with mental?
Yeah. Since that's where I think
So,
we're both the strongest at the moment.
yeah, yeah, I agree. What makes you think like for me when this all happened, my uncertainty lied more in what I was going to do for the employees
Mm-hmm.
that are underneath me. That was my mental issue there. But I think to be honest, the government's made it a lot easier on us mentally than I thought was going to happen with the idea of just like we are all in this together, like no one can get
Yeah.
evicted if they don't pay their rent. They're sending out the $1,200 checks. Unemployment you can apply for. Obviously, unemployment you're not going to see for a while, but at least
Yeah.
it will come in at some point. It's just so I think that helped a lot. Um, and honestly, like I needed a break. Like I keep telling
Yeah.
people, I kept saying like I need a break, I need a break, I need a break. Then this happened and I'm like, okay, okay. Like I'm gonna take full use of that. Like what have your days
Yeah.
looked like?
Well, my days for the like I'm used to working from home for the
From
most
home.
part,
Okay.
other than when there's an event or when I'm in studio. So I miss
Sure.
that kind of getting out of the house and going somewhere. I've been visiting my mom a bit. She's not too far from me, and like I'll go over for dinner. Um,
Yeah.
but other than that, like my days are for the most part, and this was kind of hard like week 1 because I was still trying to keep my routine, but other people were obviously, they didn't have much of a routine. So it was like I was getting
Right.
FaceTimes in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night. And I'm like, guys, I still have to like work and shit. But so like for me, I like to always have some sort of structure. So whether you're not going into the office, whether you are or aren't going into the office, or whether you were used to that prior to quarantine, I think it's smart to like for me, I'm always up between 7 and 7:30. I never let myself sleep in unless it's like a weekend and I've had a long week or whatever. I'm always out of
Okay.
bed no later than 7:30, and then I immediately like get my day started. I make my coffee, I put my schedule for the day, I make sure I try to get myself in the shower before noon. Otherwise, it's so easy to just stay sloppy and sweats in your gross robe that you haven't washed in 8 weeks and just like slob kebab on the couch watching Netflix all day, and that like kills your productivity. So I think having some sort of structure and being like, okay, these are the 5 or 6 things that are the most important that need to happen today. And for people that aren't working right now, like maybe these are new ways to bring in, revenue or passion projects or cleaning projects. Like I think right now we have to look at this as not a time of like, we're confined and we're stuck and we're worried about the uncertainty, but like, okay, this is an opportunity for us to like, if anything, my only wish is that we can have some sort of cosmic awakening globally to like get everybody out of the funk that we've probably all been in this burnout phase, especially in the US.
100%. And I think for people that don't or are not able to work from home, I feel like I'm in a weird space where I do work from home a little bit, about 3 hours a day, but that's not near what people are able to do who can fully move their office from home. So I think I get a little bit of both sides of that. And so for people that can't work from home, it's a scary time. It's a scary time for me. We'll talk about it more in the financials, but it's a scary time as far as where money's going to come from. What are you going to do? And you can't let that kind of cripple you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't have a ton that I can do from home, but then I'm spending more time on like my social media. I'm spending more time on my sweatshirt line. Like I really like dove into that. I'm learning Italian, so I take an hour of Italian every day. So it's just like finding things like I've always wanted to do that. When else are you going to have time for 3 weeks in a row to know that you have an hour to set aside to learn a new language? So it's just like finding certain things that you've always wanted to do that you can do from the comfort of your home. I think that keep you going, keep you more of on a schedule,
Yeah. And I think it's really important to just stay focused on, what your goals and objectives were before quarantine. Like focused on that, because that's going to give you some sort of like we don't know how long this is going to last. People are thinking 2 weeks, people are thinking 4 weeks, people are thinking 2 months. Like we don't know how long this is going to last. So we just have to get used to this being kind of like our new normal. And so I think if anything, we have to really treat this as, a time to rebuild what our daily life is and, really utilize what we have at home, and I think with digital media and with the internet, like we have so many different opportunities. So for me, putting together a schedule is really important. Picking the 5 to 6, I think 6 maximum things that you want to get done on a daily basis is perfect. And then I think another thing that people have to be really cognizant of is like the content that they're consuming. Like for me, I would find myself watching the news and getting so angry and frustrated or scared and anxious. And I think it's really important to not ignore the anxiety, like lean into it and be like, yes, I'm afraid. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, yes, there is some anxiety, and sit with that. Don't avoid it, or don't block it with like alcohol, but like sit in it, feel it, but don't like get consumed.
Don't become it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Shift. And so like for me, I will listen to a lot of really good podcasts. Right now I'm listening to Mark Manson, who wrote The Subtle Art of Giving a Fuck and Everything is Fucked.
Yes.
I've been listening to his Everything is Fucked interviews lately, because that's where I'm like, okay, everything is fucked right now. How do I deal with this? And he's like, you have to sit in the uncertainty. You have to sit in the uncomfortable and just realize everything is always fucked all the time. Whether it's, you got hit by a car and you broke your leg, or you're stuck at home and you're quarantined. Like there's always some fucked up situation that you're just going to need to ride that wave.
You have to deal with. Yeah.
And then, I also like to give my mind a little bit of a break. So I've been like doing a little Netflix. I did, Tiger King. Have you seen that show? It is crazy. Abigail, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. Like he has like he has a zoo in his backyard, and he has 2 husbands, and he's always fighting with that bitch Carol, and Carol fed her husband to the tigers. Like that shit is crazy. Like this is not real. It's real, but it's like
online Pilates instructor today was talking about it, and I was like, what the fuck? Like you were even talking about it like in Pilates? Like I need to watch it, but
it's crazy.
We'll get there.
It was a good mindless watch. And then so this is like so out of character for me, but I got hooked on this like new video, this like little digital, they have like Angry Birds and stuff. So I downloaded one of these video games. What is it called? Best Fiends. and it's a little mind stimulating because I'm also like I need something like a Sudoku or like a something just to keep my brain like on.
Sure.
And so I've been doing like little games on my phone. So I've been playing the Best Fiend is the one, like I literally like downloaded it yesterday morning and played it for an hour and I was like on level 30. I was like, okay, let's let's get back to like focusing. So I
Oh
think
my gosh, yeah.
little things like that where it's like a distraction from all the heaviness, but also a little kind of mind stimulating at the same time, I think is really important.
Love
Yeah,
it.
I'm loving Mark Manson. Are you reading any books or listening to any podcasts or anything?
I'm not listening to podcasts. I am listening to some audiobooks. Let me pull them up for you. I like get in moods too, where I'm like, do I want to listen to this now or not? I actually haven't been watching TV much either. Like I reserve that time for like after 5. I'll put the
Yeah.
TV on. So before 5, like I'm honestly like I'm working on like Pinterest, Instagram ads, like making the clothes for the orders I have, like really like jumping into like other shit. And
Yeah.
then at 5, then I'm like, all right, now you can be a piece of shit and like watch
Yeah,
TV.
like an average workday.
Right, exactly. Keeping it totally regular. I'm listening to Big Magic, and I'm
Oh, that's a
listening
good one.
to you've not heard it?
I said that's a good one.
You've heard of it? Yeah. Oh yeah,
Big
it's so good.
Magic.
And then I'm also doing Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I'm listening to that again. And so that's another thing is I've been doing a lot of like, money meditation.
Smart.
So, that's another thing that keeps your like mentally like kind of okay, we're going to get through this, like
Yeah.
keeping your mind busy with productive things. And like not all day,
Yeah.
trust me, not all day, but
No,
trying
like
to
you
at
need to
least
get
get
off
some of that done.
Twitter and like stop
Yeah.
reading all of the heavy news. Like if you're consuming that 24/7, then like that's only gonna like set you up for more depression and anxiety throughout the day.
100%.
Okay.
So physically, Zach, I've seen you.
Oh,
Are
physically.
we jumping to
Wait, I feel
emotion?
like we
I want
kind
to
of touched. I feel like we kind of touched on emotional a little bit. I would say the only other thing is probably like the social side of it.
Yeah.
And then socially, like there's that, what is it, House Party app? I think it's called the House Party app, where you can like play games with other people. Like it's like a via FaceTime type of thing, and you can play
Yeah.
like trivia games and stuff. So that's been kind of fun. I've been playing that with some friends.
And you've been going on dates?
And then I did go on a couple of days because like I'm still on the dating apps and I'm just like, well, like let's do this. So and it forces me to get ready. I think that's another really big mindset thing is like you need to take a shower in the morning, you need to comb your hair, and you need to get dressed. Otherwise you feel like gross and sloppy and like unmotivated. So I mean, I get ready, I comb my hair, I do the whole shebang like every day. So yeah, and then like when you're going on dates, like it kind of forces you to even up it up a little more and be like, ooh, I want to look real cute today. They haven't been great dates, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
They've been a little rough. There was like one guy who was like super analytical, and I was like, so like, what's your? I was trying to play like a psychological game that I learned, and I was like, so what's your favorite animal? And he's like, well, that depends. Like, I don't know what my favorite animal is. Like, I really have to think about that. Like, I have to think about the animals that I like, and then put them in a hierarchy and think about like why I like them, and then eventually, by process of elimination, I guess that'll determine what my favorite animal is. And I'm like, okay, I think we have a little Asperger's. I think this is not going to work out if you have to overthink every single question that I'm asking.
I just wanted to know what your favorite animal was.
Yeah, that's how he answered every single question I asked him. I was like, so what's your type? And he's like, well, it depends. Like,
do you think it was like cute? Like, did you think he was being cute or was he serious?
No, he was dead serious.
Okay, run the other way.
Swipe left.
Because you're going to be like, what do you want for dinner? And he's going to be like every other bitch in America.
I don't know. Yeah.
Like, oh, well, I don't want that.
Yeah, it was just way too many words for very simple questions. So it was a much longer date than it should have. But yeah, the dates haven't been great. But I think like now's an opportunity to like do a FaceTime date, do a Skype date. You can even get even do a little dirty Snapchat.
I have not been clearly doing any of. Well, actually, that's a lie. I have been
did dirty Snapchat. Oh, yeah.
DMing with a few dudes, but like I haven't been using the dating app. But people slide into the DMs now like crazy because there's nothing else to do, and so like I've been like taking advantage of that. Right, just like a little like casual chatting conversation. But like a few of them, I'm gonna be like, yo, take me to dinner like once this thing's over.
Oh yeah.
Like let's like take this somewhere else. But have you been doing like virtual face or a virtual like wine nights? Like I've been doing that with all my friends. Like
Yeah.
right around
Happy hour.
this is what's fucked up. Last week it was like around 2 o'clock. I can't
Yeah.
do this anymore. And I'm like, hey guys, let's like drink. They're like, it's 2. I'm like, it's 5 o'clock in Ohio. Let's go.
Yeah. Right.
Got that under control this week a little bit, but
yeah, I think everyone's starting to realize that like that's not sustainable forever. Like we did the first week, and we're like, okay, now we need to really get our shit together.
And you're like, oh my
no,
god,
I
my
was doing
skin,
the
what's
same.
going on? Yeah. It was rough.
Yeah, no, it was a vibe. Okay, so that's mental, emotional. I think the only other part of emotional that I want to touch on is it's also okay to tell people I don't want to FaceTime right now, or I need it, like I'm working or I'm doing something, because I feel like I was getting caught in that where I was answering every call that came in, and I'm like, no, like I have priorities, and I know that talking to this person is going to be a 45-minute mission, and like I don't need that type of energy right now. I need to focus and sustain what I have for, a productive time.
And it's okay. I think it's okay to be scared right now. It's not okay to run around like a psycho, but it's okay to be a little depressed. It's okay to be a little scared. It's okay to be a little unsure. Those things are okay. It's okay to wake up one day and be like, you know what? I can't do today. So I am going to at least shower, put on some clean pajamas or sweatpants, and I'm going to binge watch some TV today because I just can't go there right now. And that's okay too. You just don't want it to become your daily.
Yeah. And like, yeah. And if you don't have those days, then you're avoiding it. And then it's only going to affect your productivity. And then it's going to extend. And then it's really going to be bad down the line.
Right.
All right, I just want to pop in really quickly and give a little love to this week's sponsor, and that's Trust and Will. TrustandWill.com makes getting a legal will easy and affordable for everyone. That's me, that's you, that's grandma, that's mom and dad, that is everybody, okay, you guys? It'll give you that peace of mind to know that your assets and your family are protected. 10 minutes is all it takes to finish online. You can do estate planning for as low as $39. They even offer guardianships, wills, and trusts in all 50 states, so you're pretty much covered. So wherever you're at right now, it's time to be proactive. Hashtag adulting is getting hashtag ready for your future. So get ready for your future. Make sure your family's protected. Make sure your assets are protected. It makes you feel like you're ready for whatever is to come. Because at this point, I don't know what's happening, but I just want to make sure that my back is covered. I've done it, and I can tell you that 10-minute record, I don't think I've ever accomplished anything as quickly as I went and had my will done. Yes, I had my will done. I really did it. I went to trustandwill.com. Visit trustandwill.com/hacks, because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be giving you a hack to help you in the future. Trustandwill.com/hacks to automatically receive 10% off your purchase of guardianships, wills, or trusts, okay? Visit trustandwill.com/hacks to automatically receive 10% off your purchase of a guardianship, will, or trust.
Okay, let's talk about physical. How are you? Are you doing like fitness classes?
So I am, yes. I'm doing the hot Pilates at home. Like they're doing like an Instagram live. Like so many places are doing Instagram live. So I'm doing that. And then I also started using the Nike running app. So I have like a little like a virtual coach on there. So I hate like I used to love running, but I hate running. I especially hate running outdoors. Like I'll run inside on a treadmill. That's fine. Put like a TV show on and go. But outdoors is really hard for me, and that's all that's available right now. So I am on the like Nike running app. So I'm running 4 times a week, and then I'm trying to do like hot Pilates or like my leg workouts that I would do in the gym with a band only. So I'm trying to do some type of physical activity 6 days a week.
That's good. I tried for like the first couple of days. I tried to do like online work. I was doing hip hop dancing. I was really bad at it, but I think that's like fun and important to like not take yourself so seriously.
Right.
Especially right now. So I was doing like really bad hip hop dancing classes, and then I was uploading them on my Instagram. So that other people can kind of laugh. I feel like that's really important, is to like see, like think of like how you can be of service right now to people. And for me, I was like, I'm funny. You know what I mean? Like that's what I can bring. And so I was like, you know what, let me just be really ridiculous and like bring this to other people so that way they can laugh. And a couple of people are like, you're being so insensitive and you're not taking this seriously. And I'm just like, look, like shove a cactus up your ass if you're going to be pissed that I'm trying to make people laugh right now when we're all like so sad.
And I appreciate that. And like, yeah, people do like, there's a level of psycho
Yeah.
out there right now with everything.
But that's why they need to listen to these tips so that they can mentally
Right.
like tame, the inner chaos.
And not like lash out at somebody that they don't even know.
Oh, completely.
What are you doing now for? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm doing. I mean, I haven't been doing the dance classes as much, but I think instead of instead of like freaking out about not being fit right now, I think there's a level of fitness that you need for your own mental sanity. So I'll like go for like a 45-minute walk just around, and like, look, be safe. If you wear a fucking mask, wash your hands. Yeah. Like, I get it. Like, take all the precautions if you're going to go outside. Like, make sure you're washing your hands. If you want to wear a mask, if you feel sick, like, whatever. Do your thing. But, like, make sure you're being safe and, like, cognizant of other people. I'm not saying go to the beach right now and get lit on, with all the 19-year-olds. But, like, but which I want to clarify, because I clarified this on my Instagram. That's, like, the generation after us. That's not the millennial generation. Like, we're type millennials.
It's so
we get
annoying.
so much shit for it. And I'm like, no, that's like
millennials are past that. That's people that eat, like, fucking detergent.
Yeah, that's Gen Z. They eat the Tide Pods. Yeah, they're the ones that do all that crazy. That's not millennials.
And then there's a generation even after Gen Z that has started now. So it's like, let's all like chill the fuck out and stop blaming millennials for everything.
Yeah, just the kids.
We brought only good to the world. So
exactly. Yeah, we're woke AF.
Right.
So yeah, I'll go for like a 45-minute walk. And I think just as long as I'm getting my legs moving, I've been doing a little foam rolling. I've been doing a little yoga stretches in the morning just to like get my body active and moving. That way it's not so stagnant. But I'm not focused on like getting heavy into the fitness. Like my priority right now is just eating clean. So I'm not eating sugar right now. I'm trying to not really do a ton of carbs right now. It's just like a lot of clean protein. I'm doing a lot of my vitamins, my greens, and that alone in the past like week and a half, I've noticed my body is even kind of sustained. Like I'm not bloated. The only time I've gotten puffy is like I've drunk too much the night before. Then my face will be a little puffy. But like other than that, my body has been pretty much the same and stayed fairly toned. I think when I do foam rolling is where I really see my body getting toned. But like other than that, like my body's fine. Like I think you don't have to worry about like having to like, I mean, if you need the fitness and you need the sweating to like release the endorphins and everything, like great, do that. But don't beat yourself up because like, look, the reality is we can't be going to the gym right now. We can't be doing a lot. I think do the hot Pilates, do the Nike app, like do those things when, like if you do those 3 times a week, I think that's a victory, even 2 times a week, that's a victory because you're getting yourself active. I just think make sure you're moving your body. Move your body.
Right, exactly. And stretch and like just stretch every day. Like every day morning before you go to bed, stretch because you've been sitting on the couch all day. You've been you're not even walking around the office. You're locked in your home.
I mean, or even like, let's say like for people that were used to working in an office that are now home, like I'm pretty sure there's a coffee shop near you that you can go and spend 5-10 minutes walking to go pick up your morning coffee because everything's takeout right now. Like, it's okay to get out and order a coffee if that helps you set your routine and also, kind of gets you up in the morning and gets you active for a few minutes a day. I think those are really important things. And then just in terms of like overall health, I know this is more physical, but I mean, just in terms of health and wellness, I also think it's really important to, make sure you're replenishing your body. If you're not getting a lot of outside time, make sure you're really taking vitamin D and vitamin C. Those are D and C are the 2 biggest ones, the 2 like most important ones for keeping your immune system healthy. If you're feeling a little sick, you can take like some elderberry, keep your stress hormones down. So take like some adaptogens. I think like ashwagandha is really good. Take some CBD. Like you have options to like make sure, you're keeping your homeostasis going. That way you're not, going a little, that way your body is still staying
crazy
together. Stop going to the market and buying all the fucking pastas and like processed foods. Like that's not going to do you any good. Like this isn't an earth fight. So don't think about it as like, I need to have perishable food. Like the frozen veggies, the frozen fruits, and even the fresh fruit and veggies that you can throw in your freezer and freeze if you buy that. Like you have options. Eat healthy. Like that's really what's going to keep you going. And also I want to clarify because people get mad at me when I say take vitamin D. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm not a medical expert. I'm just saying like these things help with your immune system. Somebody got mad.
Oh yeah. And like I sit out on my Yeah, Zach, you're not a doctor. But I sit out on my
I'm not
porch
a
just to get some
doctor.
sunlight as well, just to be like, it's hard. It's hard being inside all the time. But yeah, I fully agree with you. What are you taking right now, vitamin wise?
Vitamin C, vitamin D, CBD. I'm trying to get in as many antioxidants as I can. So a lot of greens.
Okay.
I have a greens powder.
Me
I also
too.
take protein, I think, is really big. That's going to help your immune system as well. Just make sure if you are taking protein, you're also kind of staying active. Otherwise, that can convert into sugar in your body and have an opposite effect. But I think protein's really good. I'm taking the like some antioxidant capsules and CBD. Yeah, those are, I think, the 4 core right now. Vitamin D, vitamin C, a good multivitamin, and a good probiotic, I think, are the 4 core.
Love it.
Just like all year round, but like especially right now.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the big one, the important one, the financial one. How are you
Let's talk about it.
financially secure? Because like I said, like I have a little bit of anxiety, and I'm trying to not get caught up in like that old conditioning of like money's always going away and you don't know what you're going to do.
Right.
How are you staying like secure?
So I had a savings account. I have a savings account. It's been a little depleted now just because of tax season.
Yeah.
I paid my taxes, even though it's being put off till July, which people you don't even have to file till July now. So like there's certain things, like I said, that the government's doing to like help people right now. So taxes not having to be filed till July is one of them. They don't have to be paid or filed till then. So take advantage of that. Rent, you will not be kicked out if you are not paying your rent for 6 months. So take advantage of that. What else? The checks.
But also be cognizant that like the delay on bills. Remember, you guys, the delay on bills is not. That doesn't mean you don't pay rent at all. That means
exactly.
Yes, you're gonna have to pay it at some point. So make sure you're being proactive now and putting that aside, putting what little bit you do have aside, because you're gonna have to pay the rent and all of that, and your taxes. Like all of that's gonna have to be paid at some point.
100%. And thank you. That's what I was gonna follow up with, because I'm not paying my rent this month, not because I can't, because I know that there is going to be something happening in the next month, whether it is forgiveness of 10%, forgiveness of 20% of your rent, because if landlords aren't paying their mortgage right now. People who own homes don't have to pay their mortgage right now. Yes, obviously they're gonna have to pay it later, but there's no penalty for that. So with the rent, I took my rent money, I put it in my savings account, and I'm holding it there, and I'm waiting and seeing, because there's going to be something that has to be done for people. People can't just make up 3 months of rent. They can't do that. And right now in LA, it's that you'll have 6 months to pay back the rent. Well, people can't pay double rent for 6 months either. So that's not a sustainable option. There's going to be something that comes into place. And listen, I'm self-employed. So you are too.
Yeah.
I don't get the unemployment. Okay. I don't get that. That is something, neither do you. That's something that's going to benefit us during tax season next year. But for right now, I'm saving that money. I'm putting it in a savings account. You don't know how bad things are going to get. There's going to be some type of action taken towards rent. And if that means that I have forgiveness for $200 a month for 3 months, that's $600 that I saved in my pocket. So I think it's smarter to hold off on paying it, because the whole country is having to do that right now. And the more people that don't, the more they're going to be pressured to make a decision. And that's just my input on it.
No, I agree. I don't frequent the Cheesecake Factory, but I like the statement that they made where they said they're not paying the rent for any of their locations on April 1st. They're not paying any rent. And it's not that they couldn't afford it, but they were trying to make a statement for people that cannot afford their rent, that they're, putting their foot down in honor of those people, and hopefully setting off a trend, and other businesses will jump in on this as well. I mean, I think we're just in such a fucked up place right now that like we're all trying to figure things out, and like like we both have said, like it's okay to kind of sit in that fear and anxiety for a minute and feel it and not avoid it, but also remember there are things that you can do. Build up your savings right now. Call your credit card companies, tell them that you're not going to be paying on the first. That way they can, there aren't penalties for that. I know I reached out to mine, and they're like, if you need to apply for this program, we'll make sure we do it. Another thing, like, look, here's a little a lot of my checks were either held or delayed. So like one of my bank accounts, it was bouncing. And so there were a couple of auto pays that went through. So it went into the red, and then Chase tried to charge me a bunch of insufficient funds fees.
They're $34 fees, ridiculous.
Abigail, I was charged $300 in overdraft fees in those, and I was like, whoa. And then I called them, and then I'm like, look, you guys, can you not charge this for this account right now? And they're like, we got you. Like, if you call these businesses and explain it, we're all going through the same thing right now. Everybody's willing to kind of be understanding. Don't take advantage of it. Because you also just, you want to have good karma and good merit with your transactions, but like, just be aware and don't be afraid to be like, look, I can't afford this right now, but like, let's do some sort of thing where I pay you in the future.
No, 100%, 100%. And I think too, now's the time to, and again, everyone doesn't have the luxury of having extra money to put towards something that they want to be doing, but like, I'm making a small income off of my clothing. And like, that was something that kind of was on the back burner. I didn't have a ton of time because I was working so much. And then it was like, I have at least 4 weeks. Like, let's pop out a new design and let's go. And I've made, honestly, I've made almost my salary this month on clothing. And like, that's a lucky thing. And I understand that that's not going to be that way for everybody, but like, you don't know unless you try. If you've always wanted to do TikTok or always wanted to, create a cooking channel on Instagram TV, or you've always wanted to, it's things that don't cost money. That doesn't cost money to cook on Instagram TV. There are ways to do that now where you can sit down, you have the time to plan something out, you have the time to build a brand, do it. If not now, when?
Yeah. And I think, and if you are going to be doing that, there are a lot of companies and brands that have like affiliate programs that you can sign up for, where you can be making a commission off of certain products that you're talking about. Like, there are a bunch of different ways. Like, look, if you're a creative person, set yourself up a little Etsy shop. Like, you have options. You can go on Target Online. You can go, I think Amazon's they're not making all of their products available. They're only prioritizing the necessities. But like, there are a lot of other sites. Like, support those local support art supply stores. Like, figure out what it is, what your talents are, find a way to either create a product or a service right now, set up an Etsy shop, set up, what are those, Poshmark app, like, you have options to figure out other ways to make small incomes. I mean, even if, you're doing like surveys online for like $5, like all of that stuff adds up. If you continue to invest, now you have the time. Yeah, it adds up and you have the time to do it. So if you're quote unquote unemployed 100%. Right now, if you've been let go, you don't have an excuse to just sit at home. Like, this isn't an opportunity to like Netflix all day. I was even getting mad at my brother, who's like 19, and he, before quarantine, was driving for Postmates. And I was like, why have you stopped driving for Postmates? And he's like, oh, because they say we're not supposed to go out right now. But all he's doing is playing video games at home. And I'm just like, but like, now is the time where you could be doing Postmates, because people are ordering a ton of food that like
so much, and you can leave it at their door. You don't even have to interact with them.
Yeah, and you can still be making an income through that. You know what I mean? Like, you have that luxury. Like, you've already signed up. You've already been a driver for however long, that like you have this option. And he's just like, no. I'm just like, he's just treating it as a vacation. I'm like, what's gonna happen in 6 months when you come out of this and you're like, holy shit, I'm broken. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, find solutions, find options. There are like, now is the time to get inspired.
I agree. Get inspired.
And also, I think, we're part of the influencer world, quote unquote. The only time I call myself an influencer is when I'm like joking. But I think just because I try to not take it too serious. Like, I'm a pretentious bitch that's like, I'm a journalist, even though I'm over here playing shit on Instagram.
Oh my God,
we do fall into that. Yeah, we do fall into that influencer world. And I think you also have to be cognizant of the fact that like a lot of brands are cutting their budgets. You are going to have to like be flexible with your rates. But like, think about it. If you were doing digital marketing for your company, now your company is shut down. Like, those are digital marketing services that you can start pitching to other brands. Like, right now, that's really good. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that's kept me stable right now, is there's this company that I'm helping with their digital marketing, and they are a direct to consumer business, and they've been doing really well. And so they've needed someone. Luckily, I came in right before the quarantine happened. I joined their team to start helping them with that. But like, that service is something that I had years of experience doing. And then at the last minute, I was kind of like, well, this opportunity's come up. I guess I can help them out. It's not too much of a time commitment. And now that time commitment is skyrocketed because they need somebody to help manage that. And that's what's like helping me pay my bills right now. So like if you have certain skills that you can be offering people, like now is the time to go out there and do it. Also be mindful that you're going to need to cut your rates a little bit, but like now is the time to bring in any additional little income that you can.
And then you don't know where that will take you once things do pop off. And also too, I want to leave people with this idea of like being kind to people, because I think especially financially now, it's not just you that's suffering. Okay. It's small business. There's so many small businesses that are not going to come back from this.
Struggling right now.
Large businesses are
not going to come back.
Like, I'm sorry that it doesn't. People are talking about. I believe Starbucks was paying their employees up to like 2 weeks. Was it or are they still paying them? I'm not sure.
Pay their employees for 6 months. But
somebody made some kind of. It wasn't on the news. It was like a person that I know made some backhanded comment of like, how dare Starbucks? Like they should be paying their employees the whole time. And I was like, they are a $1 billion business, but do you know how much they have coming in and out every month? Like
overhead,
do you know how much they have every 2 weeks that they have just in payroll, in rent?
Overhead is so overhead and salaries are the biggest chunk of a company. They're so expensive. Like I remember when I was having to manage overhead every month, I'm like, shit, like that's the biggest. I can cut these other expenses, but overhead is a lot. And if you're going to be investing in that overhead, you're investing in those people keeping the business running so that more money can keep coming in. And so we just need to be aware that even the big companies are going to hurt right now.
Even large companies. So like if large companies are hurting, imagine your mom and pop shops, imagine your small businesses that have 3-4 locations. Like people are struggling. So don't be a dick. Don't write that nasty Yelp review if you're having a hard time getting a hold of someone. Businesses are closed. Like I just really want to run that home to people, especially running a small business. It's just infuriating when you have people not understanding the huge issues that are taking place right now.
Oh, 1,000%.
Sorry, just had to go off on that rampage.
No, that's an important tangent. Like I don't think people are aware of that. I mean, even government handouts right now, like that's another thing we have to like make sure you're not betting all your eggs in that basket. Cause like there's only so much money the government's going to be able to give out. There's only so much unemployment. Like that system could very likely collapse in a few months with the number of people that are now applying for it. Like you have to be mindful that like we're all like, this is a really twilight.
Everyone's in this together. Right.
Yeah.
And try not to ask for refunds. Try not to ask for refunds on things that you've already purchased, because yes, you need the money, but also like that goes towards feeding other people that they might not have money to give you the refund back at this point. Like just be more thoughtful in what you're doing, in your actions.
Yeah.
You know,
when you're asking a company for a refund, that's money that's going to go away from somebody's paycheck that needed that while they're not working. That's, you know, the owner of that business that is now going to have to like, you know, cut back on money for his kid that month. Like, you know, these are all things that we need to be mindful of the chain of reaction of our selfish, you know, actions.
Exactly.
But be mindful, be kind, try to be of service.
Be mindful, be
kind. Funny, if you're funny or you're inspirational or whatever you can do, like put that message out there, like be positive, you know, try to open people's consciousness if you can, like just, you know, try to be a light in a very, very dark time.
Agree. And I couldn't have said it better myself.
It was a little cheesy, but it worked.
It was cute. I liked it.
All right. Where can they keep up with you, Ms. Abigail Frere?
You guys can keep up with me during this period of time where you all are just scrolling. At Abigail _AF. You can find me on TikTok there too. I'm making more than asparagus these days.
Yes.
And how about you, Zach?
You can follow me at Just Plain Zach. I actually just updated my TikTok name to Just Plain Zach because it used to be Zach.
Yes, easier.
And now I'm like, okay, great. Now I'm Just Plain Zach on all the platforms, except Snapchat.
Yes.
I'm wondering if I can change it on. I don't think you can change it on Snapchat.
I don't think you can change that. I don't know.
Oh, well.
I never give that one out anyway.
I never give that one out anyway either. So, yeah, don't forget to follow us at The Adulting Podcast. You can check out our YouTube channel. You can check out our website, theadultingpodcast.com, for all the latest news and updates. follow us,
And let us
support
know
us.
how you're
Really.
coping.
Yeah, let us know how you slide into our DMs. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know what tips we had that you find helpful, or what tips that you have to add to the conversation. We're going to be doing a couple more episodes in the future, in the coming weeks, every Tuesday, with different strategies for coping. I think we're going to do one on like beauty and like how to keep like your hair and your face and your body intact during all of this. We're going to see everyone's like, my real color was coming out the other day. Everyone's lips are going to start deflating. Everyone's eyebrows are going to stop arching because the Botox is going to start fading.
People's lashes are coming off.
Someone's going to do a DIY Botox tutorial. They're going to be like, okay, guys, get this at Whole Foods and you can inject this into your forehead. I was watching somebody cut their own bangs this morning.
No.
It was a vibe.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't cut your hair.
I did a little trim with my razor just to get all the crispies in the back.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm not like scissor cutting my own hair. No, fuck that shit. Fingers on the outside. All right, boo. Thank you guys for listening. Yeah, while we're quarantined.
Stay safe. Wash your hands.
Stay safe. Wash your hands. Be mindful. And until next time, we're going to be...
We'll be busy. #adulting.